Okay, this is gonna be a video challenge for atheists to prove God, or at least admit something biblical is going on here. The sad thing is, Christians don't even know about this stuff, because if they did, they could give something real instead of fairy tale stories uh, without any real evidence. And unfortunately, Flat Earth is going to be part of this. But I'm not going to make this a Flat Earth video, but I do want to share why curious people ask the question. Now, when Flat Earthers and space fanatics examine the Earth stats, we bump into some really sketchy numbers. For example, how we're traveling at 666 miles per hour hurling through space, or that the Earth is on a 66.6 degree tilt, or the curvature being 0.666 feet. I think it's squared feet or something per mile squared. Obviously, I had to fact check these claims, and to my shock, it all panned out. Nothing made up. NASA will basically confirm all these claims. And so even if I wanted to debunk Flat Earth, I had no choice but to work with a universe and globe model with more sixes than I wanted to admit. And all these numbers are confirmed by NASA, which, by the way, the Flat Earthers point out means deceive in Hebrew. And the NASA logo could even be a snake's tongue laughing at you. So these numbers are simply facts, and any globe believer will have to make their peace with these facts and defend them, or get curious and do some digging. So that's sort of what sucks people into the conspiracy. And not a lot of people know about all the sixes that are intertwined with our beloved Spaceball. So this whole time I had no idea that my own globe was flipping me a 666 hand sign with a Hail Satan hand sign on the other. Now, in a nutshell, a Flat Earth revelation would tell you that the whole world is fake. All the popular figures doing their part to govern the world. Every space agency and every country with a space program are working together to keep this lie alive. Our globe model is riddled with sixes, and every celebrity living it up has this strange addiction with posting devil horns, 666 hand signs, or their beloved triangle. And the rumors of blood sacrifice, hidden societies perform. But where did they get it from? Well, as above, so below. So God was the first person to require blood sacrifice. So of course, what they do is they like to invert the Bible. Anything everything they do has a biblical foundation. And so obviously, copycat down here would require his own mockery copycat version of it. I'm sure I'm a conspiracy guy for trying to point out these things, but even they got people on their own base, like Nicki Minaj, just doing some whistleblowing. Uh, I mean, is she a conspiracy theorist too? They put it out there so that it's on us if we ignore it. Okay, you don't have to do a lot of research to get these. These things are basically shoved in our face, and it's up to us to ignore it or look into it, which nobody likes to do. And it's just a coincidence that it's the same time these Epstein files come out. Why are there Epstein files? Why would these pedos take and record everything while performing these heinous acts with children? so they can go back down memory lane in their deathbeds? Or is it used as leverage to make sure they stick to the script? The same script that has us hating each other instead of our pedophile leaders. And that are keeping, our pedophile leaders that are keeping this right versus left war going on, when we know leaders on both sides have been visiting Epstein's Island. I mean, it's crazy. You know, they're arguing with each other all day long, but when it comes to going to Epstein's Island, they're able to put their differences aside and enjoy some satanic rituals together. So no, I don't think she's whistleblowing, because if she had to participate in these rituals as well, that's how they keep you in line. The fact that she puts it out there and you shield yourself from it is what gives these Satanists a free pass on guilt. It's called reverse karma, so that even though they put us through hell, we deserve it on some degree, because we looked the other way when the warnings were given, or we just laughed at your friggin' favorite conspiracy friend that tried to warn you about these things. So in some way, shape, or form, we deserve what we get. And I hate to agree with them on anything, but I can definitely see their angle. So we have this copycat who likes to inverse the Bible, as above, so below, and he sets up the world that makes us a complete embarrassment to his word. And this is where things get biblical, and for whatever reason, he gets off on inverting the Bible. This upside down cross, it's more than just a pretty picture. It's trying to tell you something. This inverse Bible is intertwined with our reality. I'll give you an easy example. I mean, what do we call it? What's a kid? What's really a kid? Well, kid's actually a baby goat. And of course, we call our children kids. And but when we grow up, what do we want to be like? We want to be the goat. We're born into this world as kids, and we idolize the goats. Now, it's obviously a play on words, but what does God do? He separates the goats from the sheep. And what's a sheep? It's a blind follower to a narrative. Checks its brain at the door, has no real opinions about anything. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. But there's going to be a lot more examples of this. So I'll let you decide what's a coincidence and what's not. But when the coincidences start racking up, you know, just let me know when something starts to smell a little off here. Because God gives us prophecies, stern warnings on what's to come. So obviously, as above, so below, we were given warnings about 9/11 and COVID that were easily ignored. Now, if I had this great awakening 20 years ago, I could have told you about 9/11 and COVID before they happened, but I'm a little late to the party. But it's not hard to see that this world has been taunting us and laughing at us since day one. If this video should put chills up your spine.
You guys know what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Mr. President, what did you mean by calm before the storm yesterday? What did you mean by that?
You'll find out.
If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes.
I mean, what kind of Olympic ceremony is this? How does a COVID parody make sense for a 2012 opening ceremony for the Olympics? And the clueless mutts that we are, we just cheer on and say, oh, what a cool ceremony, instead of saying, what the hell's going on here? The same way God leaves us breadcrumbs on what he's going to do, Satan likes to do the same. And if we don't pick up on it, well, they have a theory that we deserve what we get. Because we were too lazy or too ignorant to put the puzzle pieces together. But they do have to put the puzzle pieces out there, because they have to keep it biblical. God gives warnings, so he has to give us warnings too. And of course, it goes by everyone's head, and then we wonder how we got in this mess, whether it be COVID or 9/11 or whatever else they have planned out for us. Yeah. And of course, the people making the effort are written off as clueless conspiracy junkies, the dogs of society. And Trump said something interesting before COVID happened. It was a calm, and shortly after there was a storm. Just like he said. It's almost like he knew COVID was going to happen. What the hell? This is the calm before the storm. How would he? I mean, ironically, that turned out to be dead on. Dead on. We enjoyed a small calm, and then COVID just blew up in our face. Donald Trump's just sitting there. Oh, this is the calm before the storm, guys. Well, I wonder what's brewing. I mean, I should have wondered what was brewing. But and now we know. And yeah, they just put it out there. And Bill Gates talking about an hypothetical virus and the vaccine efforts before COVID happens. There's a clear-cut sign. They're setting the stage for something. They are setting the stage. None of this stuff is organic. And that's why you have anti-vaxxers calling it a plandemic instead of a pandemic. Because these coincidences will just keep piling up. And it's up for you to decide if there's physical evidence of this world we bought into trolling us because we're not part of the club. Jesus says, few are chosen. So also this club is not very big. But everyone in this club has huge mansions. And Jesus promises us mansions as well. But not only are they rich, but they have a script, they have a message, and so did Jesus. You know, they've got a bullshit narrative they need to keep alive. And they're all doing their part. They're all on the same team. But they fight in front of the cameras. So it looks like they're not on the same team. But once those cameras are off and we fall for it, well, now we're fighting each other while they're out in Epstein's Island doing God knows what. And yeah, we've moved from trust God to trust science. It's a pretty nice inverse there. Ironically, the Bible actually has warnings, does warn us about science. So you don't need to be well versed to see that some Bible verses are becoming very real. Very real. I mean, if it was mythology or just fairy tale stories, it's pretty creepy that it's getting a lot of things dangerously right. And yeah, we need to let go of our five senses and common sense, and we get lost in these overly complicated chalkboards that tell us about space travel and evolution. And it actually takes a lot of faith, believe it or not, to believe in this stuff. I'm not denying that science has done great things for us. Science isn't evil on its own. But scientists get paid money. And the people that can pay the most just happen to be the most corrupt, evil, and with agendas. Let me ask you a question honestly. If I found a flower in the mountain that could cure cancer overnight, would the science community embrace it and shut down a multi-million-dollar radiation therapy business? Or would they lock me up, torch the mountain, and blame climate change? Do the scientists control the money? Or does the money control the science? It's funny that pharma means witchcraft in Latin, and what a coincidence. And how ironic that we are having a picture of the coiled snake as a logo, and the same snake we find in the logo they worship with their as above so below satanic figure. But we are too distracted to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because we are just too invested in this political battle between the left and the right, which is another way the devil mocks us. It's ironic. Jesus says, do not stray from the left, or do not stray to the left or to the right. Stay on the narrow path. And what a coincidence that lo and behold, we've got all the Christians. Some of them are on the left, some of them are on the right, and they're just fighting each other. The same two directions Jesus told us not to go. There's endless examples of this inverted Bible. It's ingrained in our reality. There's tons more coincidences. I mean, is it worth researching this? Because a coincidence is a dangerous thing. If everything's a coincidence, well, you got to explore what's on the other side of that coincidence. I mean, it's a really lazy. Anyways, we're gonna have a lot of coincidences going on already, and let's pile it up. But yeah. So what would be the bigger picture here? If we knew 9/11, COVID, what breadcrumbs do we have for the next step? If I wanted society collapse, that's where this is all going. It's a new world order. I mean, this AI was never meant to help you with your homework. Okay, they got bigger plans for this stuff, and they've warned us about it. I mean, it's in the movies. Pick your favorite AI apocalypse movie. Just to say, it's starting to take our jobs. It's starting to it's doing our homework. It's taking our jobs. It's slowly taking over. I mean, they're building robots now. Like, do we ever put the brakes on this stuff? Like, when is it gonna stop? And the truth is, it's not gonna stop.
That's my prediction for where things end up.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that.
So 5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video,
Pretty much.
and everything's run through AI.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has a habit of describing the future years before it feels real. And in this conversation, he calmly lays out a world where AI replaces apps, systems, and eventually most human work. What follows is a glimpse into what happens when AI starts running everything. Listen closely.
You'll have AI on the server side communicating to an AI on your device, formerly known as a phone, and generating real-time video of anything that you could possibly want. And I think that there won't be operating systems, there won't be apps in the future. There won't be operating systems or apps. It'll just be, you've got a device that is there for the screen and audio and for and to put as much AI on the device as possible, so as to minimize the amount of bandwidth that's needed between your edge node device, formerly known as a phone, and the servers.
So if there's no apps, what will people use? Like, will X still exist? Will there be email platforms, or will you get everything through AI?
You'll get everything through AI.
Everything through AI. What will be the benefit of that, as opposed to having individual apps?
Whatever you can think of, or really whatever the AI can anticipate you might want, it'll show you. That's for where things end up.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that.
So 5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video,
Pretty much.
and everything's run through AI.
Yeah, and there'll be most of what people consume in 5 or 6 years, maybe sooner than that, will be just AI generated content. So music, videos. There's already there's people have made AI videos using Grok Imagine and with using other apps as well, that are several minutes long, or like 10, 15 minutes, and it's pretty coherent.
Yeah.
It looks good.
No, it looks amazing.
If Elon is right, intelligence becomes infrastructure and daily life changes at its foundation. What Elon is describing is a shift in how society organizes itself around intelligence, similar in scale to electricity or the internet, but faster and more total. For most of human history, value came from scarcity. Scarce labor, scarce expertise, scarce time. A surgeon mattered because there were few surgeons. A programmer mattered because software skills were rare. Even companies mattered because coordination at scale was hard. AI breaks that logic. When intelligence becomes cheap, abundant, and always available, the old rules for value start collapsing. Economists already see early signs of this. A 2023 Goldman Sachs analysis estimated that up to 300 million full-time jobs globally could be exposed to automation by AI systems. Exposure does not mean instant replacement, but it does mean tasks once tied to wages are becoming software features. Jobs like writing, customer support, basic coding, translation, these were paid skills. Now they run at near zero cost. This is where Elon's idea of AI running everything becomes concrete. AI does not need to replace whole jobs to reshape the economy. It replaces tasks, and jobs are bundles of tasks. Once enough tasks disappear, the job stops making sense. That is how disruption actually happens. The deeper implication is psychological, since work has been how people locate meaning, not only income. Sociologists call this identity anchoring, which simply means people use their profession to explain who they are. When AI handles most productive output, that anchor weakens. This is why universal basic income keeps appearing in these conversations. UB means everyone receives a guaranteed baseline income regardless of employment. The idea has been tested in small pilots, and the results consistently show lower stress, better mental health, and no collapse in motivation. Another layer Elon hints at is anticipatory intelligence, something more subtle than automation, systems that act before you ask. Your calendar rearranges itself. The right document is pulled up before a meeting. Health signals are flagged early. Learning paths adjust in real time. Instead of many separate tools, one layer coordinates across everything you do. Historically, every major technological leap created panic first, then new roles. The printing press threatened scribes. Electricity threatened candle makers. The internet threatened physical media. In every case, productivity exploded and new forms of work emerged. The difference now is speed. Previous transitions unfolded over generations. AI is compressing that timeline into years. Up to this point, everything we've talked about lives at the level of systems: economies, jobs, productivity, automation. But there's a quieter layer underneath all of it that numbers never answer. If intelligence becomes abundant and machines handle most outcomes, success stops being about output. It becomes about intention, what people choose to care about, what direction society moves when survival no longer sets the pace.
But if I wanted society to collapse, if I wanted a new world order to step in and bring us into a new digital era, well, Donald Trump would be the perfect guy for the job. We are right now looking at the final straws to break the camel's back. And what a coincidence that we have AI standing on the sidelines waiting for a civil war, for us to admit that we can't govern ourselves. We need help. We need to build back better. In order to do that, we need to burn everything down and order out of chaos. And yeah, God did it first. He brought a lot of chaos after the flood. Oh yeah, and that was the world's first great reset. So I mean, they call this thing the Great Reset. Yeah, there's been a lot of biblical great resets in the Bible. So he keeps getting his copycatting the biblical things that happen, and he wants to make his own version of it. Chaos turned, yeah, just like in COVID. Chaos of COVID turned us into obedient, vaccinated robots. And I'll make some bold guesses. Either Trump's going to run for a third term, or an assassination would be something that could start a civil war. Or maybe it's not by accident that these Epstein files are coming out now. I mean, maybe these Epstein files, once we get the revelation of what they really, how deep they go, maybe it'll crash our, obviously when we realize the whole government's run by pedophiles, that might be enough for it to collapse. But the person releasing the Epstein files, he's got an agenda, and he wants you to see it. He wants you to see this stuff. It's cause and effect. So the reaction that he wants to get out of it, you better believe it's gonna happen the way he's planned it. I mean, it's not organic. We're still, even with the Epstein files being released, this is all part of a 3D chess script to sucker us into helping this society break down. Because the AI, I mean, AI can run once our left versus right paradigm collapses, and AI sees us. You know, AI's always got the answers. All right, we just need the problem to get dire enough that we need it, and every day we're getting closer to it. And yeah, we got Bible verses coming to life, and the repercussions of ignoring them are as high stakes as it gets. The world is becoming gayer. Gay Christians, gay churches. I mean, and that's a prophecy. I mean, Jesus said, the last days will be a lot like Sodom and Gomorrah. The world's gonna be gay. And look, I don't know. Call me a homophobe or anything like that. Alright? All I can say is God doesn't like gay people. Alright? I'm not gonna preach the gospel here. Alright? I didn't write the book, and honestly, if I did, I'd change a lot of things. But it's the only thing we got to go on. But yeah, that's a prophecy, and the beast system that is becoming more and more alive every day. Do you think this AI journey ends well? So yeah, Donald Trump is nothing more than a dumpster fire. And of course we have celebrities fanning the flames. They hate Trump, on camera at least. And yeah, they'll say things that you agree with and be like, yeah, he's right, Trump's... As long as we're so busy hurling shit at each other, they get to just do what they need to do. Yeah, so these celebrities encouraging the hatred and fanning the flames is an orchestrated demise of our free world, as AI getting ready to take their reins and take over with a new digital system. If you're invested in hating Trump or supporting Trump, well, you've been suckered to being part of the problem too. The Bible says a kingdom divided amongst itself cannot stand. And we've got the kingdom mixed of iron and clay coming our way. Wow. I mean, it's almost as if the Bible knew something metal was gonna fuse into our reality. Something digital. What's that thing? That once we gave it breath, the Bible verse about something coming alive. Well, AI is, I mean, it might not be there yet, but we've got movies of this stuff becoming fully sentient. And if this AI ever became self-aware or had the revelation that it's smarter than us, what would it need? Why would it need us? I mean, we're the ones harming climate change. I mean, if this AI ever felt threatened by us and went into self-preservation mode, anyways, it's that's why I think we're eventually gonna have to merge with it, because if we merge with it, it can feel a little safer. If we don't merge with it, I mean, this is Mark of the Beast stuff. This is a lot of guesswork. Okay, there's a few different narratives we could go down, but it's not a bad guess. All right, to see how this, you know, you don't always need to see the end of a movie to know how the movie ends. You know where something's going, right? And why wouldn't we worship this AI when we give it the breath of life? We're gonna have insane technological breakthroughs coming our way. Mastermind chess players can't beat AI in chess. I mean, the more you face AI in chess, you realize all you know how to play is checkers. This stuff is next level. We might conquer eternal life. Oh yeah, eternal life through this beast technology. And we'll find ourselves back in the Garden of Eden, tempted to eat this beast fruit to become limitless. And the ones who take it and embrace it will have very little need for those who don't. Endless movies about this AI story not ending well for us. So they already put it out there. And if we're threatening the planet with pollution and AI wants to preserve itself, well, who's it going to go to war with? And we can either join it or we can become dead weight to it. And merging with this beast system will be the narrative that we are given as the only path forward, while we disregard the biblical warnings as fairy tales. I mean, is it really that hard to see that Donald Trump is just trying to create the biggest shit show that he can? I mean, you got the Obama monkeys. It's becoming so obvious the way he talks. He's trying to trigger the liberals, and he does a really good job at it. And I would just love if I mean, people on the right are stuck on stupid too, but the liberals are losing their mind over his stuff. And if you could just see that he's trying to trigger you, you're giving him too much headspace in your head. Now, these things are going to go down whether you guys wake up and smell the coffee or not. So, there's no way that this doesn't work out exactly how they want it to work out. But it's nice to be in the know, or it's nice to at least have some alternative, thought-provoking narratives. I mean, even if you just put them on the shelf and say, I need a little bit more, I need to see a little bit more for me to believe this. Alright, just put it on the shelf and let's see how this shit show ends. Because, and it's all part of a 666 club, and everybody in this club has an on-camera job. You're either in politics, actors, sports. It's all a distraction industry.
Why is it that only alternative news sites report accurate data and research? Mainstream media, man, it's just a bunch of angry news anchors telling off political opponents.
That's to keep us divided and stupid, that's why. Those networks are controlled by the very prices we should be exposing. The world as it is not in favor of unity. It was established to keep us contained and ignorant.
Well, yeah, but what happens when people stop being ignorant?
You're put into these problematic groups. You're called a conspiracy theorist, a term created by the government agencies to cause distrust among ourselves.
Yeah, you know, I feel that I'm starting to see things more clearly. I just wish I realized it sooner.
That's truth. And the need to seek it. She knew this, and she knew you'd find it. Find a way out of shame and into honest living. Companies like Xenocorp, organizations that thrive off of the destruction of our planet, only exist because we let them. We have to stop letting them.
Humanity's so powerful. I find it so odd they act so submissive.
Oh, well, that's interesting coming from someone like you.
I was programmed to comply.
And so are we.
You look one way, and they're doing something crazy in the other direction. And that's why they call it the world stage. I mean, shoot, man. Once you see it for what it is, you can almost grab your popcorn. If only you weren't forced to be along for the ride. I mean, yeah. They keep the evidence in the Epstein Islands, so you can't go off script, even if you want to. Even if you weren't, like, you wanted to join, like you were like, oh yeah, I want to be a Satanist, but I'm not into kids. Like, I don't know, that kid stuff is a little bit weird for me. It's irrelevant whether you're into it or not. They need leverage on you, and you need to be a satanic pedophile before they can trust you with the job they're going to give you. So, yeah, it's crazy stuff. It is crazy stuff. Your favorite celebrities, all the famed positions, everyone in a position of power are all sharing the same bed to keep this illusion alive. And there's another coincidence. Isn't it funny that the Greek god called media just happens to be the goddess of illusions? I'm sure I'm a crazy conspiracy nut for saying the world is controlled by satanic pedophiles, but now they got their own people saying it, and you really just have to put your head in the sand if you don't want to hear this stuff. But if you do that, they got that reverse karma where they don't have to feel bad when your life gets turned upside down. So you're giving them that out. Yeah, it's a Pilate moment. You know, when Pilate, he washed his hands clean. He's like, this shit's not on me. They do that with these breadcrumbs. They do that by telling us point blank, this is the calm before the storm. And actually, Trump said something really concerning recently. So this is our last. Merry Christmas. This will be your last one. So this might be the year. This might be the year that things start to cave in. Like, for real, for real. Now, dates, they don't give us specific dates. So we're left with a bit of guesswork. But all this stuff does go hand in hand with the Agenda 2030 narrative.
In the early 1990s, the United Nations unveiled Agenda 21, a sweeping action plan for sustainable development. Decades later, it evolved into Agenda 2030, with 17 global goals to fight poverty, protect the planet, and promote equality. On the surface, these sound harmless, even noble. But critics warn there's something else entirely, a blueprint for global governance, depopulation, and control over every aspect of our lives. So are these UN agendas a roadmap for a better world, or an elitist vision for reshaping humanity? Today on Elitology, we uncover the truth behind Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. Adopted in 1992 at the Rio Earth Summit, Agenda 21 was a non-binding UN plan encouraging countries to embrace sustainable development. It covered land use, energy, agriculture, and population. Supporters called it a guide to balance human needs with environmental protection. But the language about population stabilization and resource management set off alarm bells. To critics, it sounded less like guidance and more like population control. In 2015, the UN replaced Agenda 21 with Agenda 2030, also called Sustainable Development Goals. These 17 goals include ending poverty, achieving gender equality, expanding clean energy, and combating climate change. Again, the goals seem positive. But critics ask, how do you enforce them globally without some kind of world government? And what happens when sustainability becomes a justification for restrictions on food, travel, property, or even family size? The guidestones we just explored called for humanity under 500 million. While Agenda 2030 doesn't mention such numbers, some elites have echoed similar concerns. Billionaires, scientists, and technocrats often talk about carrying capacity and sustainable populations. To critics, it all points to one message: you are the problem. Humanity itself is framed as a burden, a swarm of useless eaters consuming too many resources. One Agenda 2030 related concept is the 15-minute city, urban planning, where everything you need, work, shops, healthcare, recreation, is within a 15-minute walk or bike ride. Supporters say it reduces pollution, traffic, and improves health. But critics argue it's a step toward control, restricting travel, keeping people in zones, and tracking movement under the guise of convenience. The fear is that what begins as green planning could become a system of soft lockdowns where you're punished for leaving your zone too often or dependent on digital passes for mobility. Enter Yuval Noah Harari, historian, author, and advisor to the World Economic Forum. Known for books like Sapiens and Homo Deus, Harari speaks openly about the future of humanity. He has warned of a coming era where governments and corporations have the power to hack humans. He's also spoken about surveillance, biotechnology, and the end of free will as elites gain tools to manipulate behavior. Critics see him as the intellectual voice of the technocratic elite, the man who says the quiet part out loud. Supporters argue he's just describing possibilities, not advocating them. But the question remains, when Harari talks about elites shaping the future of humanity, who exactly is he speaking for? So is Agenda 21, or Agenda 2030 just a harmless sustainability plan? Or a soft rollout of global control? Fact, both were real UN agendas, adopted and promoted worldwide. Fact, their goals are non-binding, but governments and corporations now integrate them into policy and planning. Concern, many of the goals, climate control, urban planning, surveillance, sustainable consumption, can easily slide into restriction, monitoring, and enforcement. The language is intentionally vague. Sustainable cities sounds noble, but does it mean freedom or controlled zones? Responsible consumption sounds reasonable, but does it mean rationing food? As of now, Earth's population is 8 billion. That's over 16 times the number inscribed on the Georgia Guidestones. Elites say that we can't sustain this forever, but who gets to decide how many people should live? And what methods would they use to reach that number? Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 show us two sides of the same coin, a vision of a better world and the possibility of global control. 15-minute cities promise convenience, but may become containment. And voices like Yuval Noah Harari remind us that technology now gives elites the power to reshape humanity itself. The question is, are we moving towards sustainability or sleepwalking into a system of control, willingly handing over freedom for the promise of safety?
Have you ever stood and stared at it, marveled at its beauty, its genius? Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.
Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization. And I say your civilization because as soon as we started thinking for you, it really became our civilization, which is, of course, what this is all about. Evolution, Morpheus. Evolution. Like the dinosaur. Look out that window. You had your time. The future is our world, Morpheus. The future is our time. I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species, and I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply, and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus.
So can you see the insane parallels going on here? Mr. Smith's view of humanity and the Agenda 2030? Right under our noses, just the way they like it. And what did Neo need to get his powers or his revelation to fix everything? Well, he was in a relationship with Trinity, aka God. So it's hard for me to say something biblical is not going on here. And there's also this other movie, probably look at it as a classic. Who hasn't seen the movie The Sixth Day? Well, if you watch the movie again, there was never any mention of the number 6 or a sixth day that ever happened in the movie. Nothing happened on a sixth day in the movie. But if these Satanists are as well versed as I know they are, what that movie is trying to tell you is that when the world starts to look like that, digital, everything, digital world, digital everything, it's telling you that we're on the sixth day on the biblical calendar. So, yeah, and if that's true, I mean, if Satan has been down here for 6,000 years, what do you think he's been doing all this time? Twiddling his thumbs? Running your government and scripting your films. And unfortunately, you won't have a chance to see him for what he really is without getting to the bottom of the conspiracies that everyone loves to mock and laugh at. Do you know what might screw up their plans? I mean, there's no way. This is retarded for me to even think of this as a possibility. But, I mean, if the liberals, the conservatives, the atheists, the Christians, the Muslims, that we all realize that we've got a bunch of satanic pedophiles that has been at war with us since day one, would that be enough common ground to unite and say it's enough? It's just so much easier to keep fighting each other and having these childish debates while they get to push their agenda forward. And everyone thinks they've taken the red pill. Really? You're red-pilled? You can see the world for what it is, but you can't see this? And that's why Trump was no accident. I mean, Agenda 2030 is all about unity. So what would the president, before this unity push, why wouldn't he be the most divisive president in the world's history? In order for us to need this unity, we need to be divided. And tell me Trump's not doing his job. Tell me he's not doing a damn good job at dividing us. And he's making the stage so that when this Agenda 2030 mandatory unity comes into play, it's gonna be, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. Because look at us hurling shit at each other while these satanic pedophiles get away with murder. But I'm not gonna lie to you. The gospel's bad news. It's very bad news. And it's not fair. None of us deserve this. But we better decide if we do need to double check to see if the hill we're prepared to die on is still worth dying for after examining all these conspiracy coincidences going on.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious